Yep.
What's up, everybody? Skratch coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. We have the 2x Sacred coming this weekend as well, guys. And what better time to review the epic champions? So we're gonna have two parts on the channel here with Ash, guys. Ash, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
Skratch, my brother, I am excited, man. We have a long way to go here. We're gonna cover every epic in the game. It's gonna be a lot of fun, man.
Absolutely, always a pleasure, guys. Make sure to go and check out Ash. I'm gonna leave his link in the description down below. Drop a sub if you haven't subscribed to his channel yet. Awesome content. And guys, just as a disclaimer, we're gonna talk about epic champions. We're gonna review them, but that doesn't mean that we're telling you go and feed this champion, go and build this champion right now. So we're gonna talk about champions that are fun to use outside, that they don't really have any meaning in terms of progression. And we're gonna talk about champions that are good to guard the vault for the moment, but you never know when that rebalance can happen, right? So keep an eye on that. And that being said, let's jump over straight into it. We're gonna start with the Banner Lords. And Ash, you wanna start with the first epic? Go through it.
Yeah, sure, man. Horden. He's a champion. I am not a huge fan of Horden, but some people like this dude. Me personally, I like that he grants an extra turn. I like any champion that has a granted extra turn ability, but Horden for me is just he's not the answer. So I'm not investing in Horden.
Gotcha. So
is that fast enough for you? Is that fast enough?
Yeah, pretty good. He's definitely the $50 champion. If you remember, they tried to sell him actually ages ago.
Yeah. I think Horden the original, supposed to be the original like face of a starting champion or the face of Raid?
Maybe. He was definitely one of my first epics. I think my second epic after Knight Errant, yeah. But he deals a bit of damage. He gets the extra turn, he buffs himself, but overall, good for faction wars, good to have fun with it. It's not a champion that I would suggest to invest in terms of progression, personally.
Yeah, especially now that there's so many good epics, right? So I judge everybody a little bit harder than I did maybe a year or 2 years ago because, you know, there's so many places you can spend your resources in this game.
Absolutely, and we have Lordly Legionary. This is a champion that, if I'm not mistaken, are we getting for free, right? From daily logins or something?
Yes, he is a daily login reward champion. One of the crappiest in my opinion. I'm also not investing. How about you?
Absolutely. Like, his base stats are nothing out of the ordinary here. He's an attack-based champion, magic affinity. He was kind of intended for the Fire Knight guys, but at the time when they added this champion to the game, we only had stage 20, and he was weak affinity there. So yeah, we do have single hit on the A2. Fully booked, he has a chance to decrease the speed, then reflects some damage, continue and hit. Then reflects damage and places a continuous heal on all allies. Is a pretty good strategy to go on the Fire Knight, but he's still not an awesome champion. Honestly, I would still not suggest you to invest in this champion overall. Archmage Helmet, Doom Tower champion. You love this guy, huh?
Yeah, I do. I you know, Lordly, I agree with you. I think he's just trash, man. I think he's trash. I think he's bait. Like, champions like that to me are bait because they give you the champion, right? Like, so it's a free champion. He has, you know, like his A2 has like 7 levels on it. And I feel bad for people who throw, you know, 7, 10, 11 epic books into this champion, you know? But anyway, Archmage Helmet, he is, to me, he's like one of the top epics in the entire game, you know? And I'll probably say that about like 10 epics in today's video, but Archmage Helmet certainly, it justifies. You know, he's very fast, he has good base stats, he has increased speed, crit rate, crit damage, on a 3-turn cooldown. He has a stun on an AoE. He hits pretty hard too. He's immune to turn meter decrease in effects. And he has speed in arena if you're looking for that, or a secret room champion too, so everybody can kind of get this dude eventually because he's on the normal. And I love this guy.
Yeah, I think he's actually the first epic we're unlocking from the Doom Tower, right?
That is right. And I think he's the, you know, he's the best. But we haven't played with the like Dark Kale yet. So
yeah,
but
from the old ones,
yeah,
100%. Yeah, he's definitely an awesome epic champion. I really like him as well.
I was surprised how much damage this guy does, man.
I know.
Like,
I built him for damage. Honestly, when I made my guide on it, I was like, guys, I know this is a bit unethical, but this guy can actually smack, you know?
Yeah. Like you can put him in a lot of arena teams too, right? You know, gold for arena champion as kind of an increased speed, go first, get extra damage out of your nuker, and then come back around on the second term and stun everybody. Or you can start out with a stun, you know. So he's a cool champion. He's fast, you know. I like how fast he is.
I like him a lot as well. Definitely pairs good with Seer as well because we have a lot of buffs on him. Gerhard the Stone. Awful base stats, honestly, especially HP, an attack champion. Personally, I never use this champion. Stun on the A1, super low chance to actually land that. On the A2, he buffs himself, right? Then attacks an enemy, will ignore a bit of defense. He might be hitting hard, I'm not 100% sure. And he's immune to fear, true fear, freeze, provoke, sleep, and stun. Pretty interesting as a passive, but if he doesn't deal tons and tons of damage, again, he's not great. And honestly, we have so many champions that deal damage in the game that I feel like to throw all the books in this champion just to have a single target epic hitter with super bad HP and attack, not that great.
Yeah, dude. I'm not a I'm not a fan of him. I'm not a fan. Very average to me, and I'm not investing in average champions anymore. You know.
Absolutely, we do have to be very careful with them, man. Because how you said, there's so many epic champions now, and every month they're bringing new champions. So definitely we gotta be so much more careful with the champions that we're investing in and stuff like that. Oathbound, what do you think about this dude?
I'm not investing.
Same.
Yeah, some people like Oathbound because he does have that kind of cool A3 where he can block active skills. But it is only a 50% chance at landing on a 4-turn cooldown. It has a 100% chance if the target is under decreased attack. So if you can set him up, he could be useful, you know, specifically in the arena. He's easy to keep alive. He has decreased attack on AoE. So again, I think he's average. I think he's a little bit better than Gerard the Stone. However, I'm still not going out of my way to invest in Oathbound because of power creep. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. I don't like these attacks at random 4 times and the debuffs because all those hits can go on one champion, on one enemy, and then you kind of lost the whole thing. He does have decent base stats, but rather than that, is definitely not a champion to help you with progression, guys. It's more a champion like a weekend champion. You know, you have fun with it, kind of like that.
Exactly.
Chancellor Yespin, now that the AI kind of got fixed.
Yeah, I mean, AI got fixed, but it's weird, right? Because you don't want her to lead in with her A2 because it heals somebody. Like, you don't need to heal as the first move.
Nope.
And you don't want to lead her in with her A3 because she's removing buffs. She's not doing any damage or anything like that, right? She's placing a sleep if they get buffs removed. So who cares, right? And then, or actually, it plays a sleep debuff for 1 turn. Yeah, who have active buffs. I don't know, man. I think she's very fast. She's cool. She's a good healer. She has speed in all battles by 20%. Good aura.
Yeah, that's
but
awesome.
I'm still not. I'm not in love with her. And I hate to be a nitpicker here, but on the A3, if it was either a 3-turn cooldown when booked at a 75% buff removal, I would like her. Or if it was just a 4-turn cooldown like it is when booked, but had a 100% chance of removing buffs. I don't want to invest in a champion that has a skill, like her primary skill, that's only 75% chance at landing. That's just my personal preference. So I'm not really I built her, I have her, but I'm not like big, I'm not super high on her.
Yeah, I personally haven't built her, honestly, but I feel the same. Like, I usually build the champions that they kind of attract me. I feel like I could do something with them. The ones that they're like, I'm usually not building them. I do love the aura on the champions. So early on, probably I would use her at level 40. Maybe I would take her to level 50, and later on, Faction Wars, she might be helpful a bit there with a bit of CC if you manual, you know. But on Oro, I feel like she doesn't have a lot of potential. And
you would take her 50. You would take her 50 and not book her, so just have a 50% chance of removing buffs on a 5-turn.
Yeah, just for Faction Wars probably, rather than
just for the heal. Yeah. Okay.
I wouldn't invest in her like to waste the books because she needs quite a few, huh? Yeah, 12 books are quite a lot. Pretty hard to get them. Seneschal. I actually got him on my free-to-play, and I'm like kind of in between. Now, I like the Leech, right? But I feel like I won't be needing it. The chance is pretty low, 40% chance to land Leech. And I hate this on champions. This is like an old school thing that Plarium used to do. Damage based on defense attack. He's a defense-based champion. His attack is awful. And they're just not mixing it up properly. I feel like they really need to change all this on all the champions that they messed up. They crippled like this, you know?
Yeah. I'm gonna shock you here. I actually think this guy's pretty good. I mean, pretty good meaning that like I think he's above average, right? And I think that I could see investing in this champion to level 50 because I mean, yeah, you're right about the Leech. It's a very low land rate at 40%. However, first of all, move to his A2. He has a 2-turn cooldown on a perfect fail and continuous heal on an ally. Not too bad, right?
Yep.
And then he has on his A3 though, check it out. He has a 100% chance provoke when booked on all enemies on a 4-turn cooldown. And he has a counterattack on himself, which leads him to placing more leeches. So he can be a sneaky kind of healer for your team because of that counterattack and the leech synergy. So I think that he's a pretty cool champion. He's pretty fast too, which I like. Definitely not, a game changer by any sense, but I feel like he is one of the more helpful faction wars champion out there. So Seneschal.
I was gonna say, yeah, he can be pretty good for faction wars as a CC. You can even throw him on a stun set, provoke,
Yeah.
counter attack, stun, and keep on having fun. Same with the Rock Breaker. They're very similar in that aspect. And we have Alaric the Hooded. Oof.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of this guy. What about you?
Not a big fan either. Decent base stats, a bit the defense and the speed are a bit low, but on the A1, not doing much, right? A chance of decreasing the turn meter, which is 7.5, is really not impressive. The A2 again, 75% chance to remove 2 random buffs from the target before attacking. 100% chance fully booked to steal 2 random buffs if the target has 4 or more buffs. Now that's not happening very often, right? So pretty useless skill. And on the A3, we do have a decreased attack and decreased accuracy on all enemies. Fully booked on a 4-turn cooldown, which again is not that great,
Yeah, I mean, his A3 is definitely the highlight of his kit. So if you're really looking for an AoE decrease accuracy, decrease attack champion, I think that he's okay in that regard, but he's not bringing much else to the table. So I think he looks cool, though.
Yeah, he doesn't look bad.
There we go.
But again,
so
probably more towards faction war if we'll be to use him,
Yeah. All right. Next up, Knight Errant.
Knight Errant.
Have you played Knight Errant before?
Was my first epic on my account, on my main one.
Okay.
He hits.
So do you think he's worth building just for the Death Warrant ability? I mean, that's what it comes down to, right?
Not anymore, no. Like his defense is super low. It's very situational when he's on full HP to actually rack. Like back in the day when we barely had any epic champions and we didn't have that many damage dealers, he used to be lots of fun in arena. Like he used to hit like a tank, man. But rather than that, he does bring leech. He brings a weaken, a stun on the A2. But I wouldn't personally build him, not even for faction wars. He does hit pretty hard on clan boss as well on a block damage team. But rather than that, he does require quite a few books as well. You see, 12 books. He does have a nice aura for dungeons early on if you get him, so you could use him. But I feel like it's not worth to invest in him anymore. Like 2 years ago, personally,
Fair enough. Well, next up we have one of the the cream of the crop here in Epic Champions, right?
Creme de la creme.
Stag Knight. And he looks really cool too. Like I love his aesthetics. He's like one of the cooler looking champions out there, but I mean, what do you have to say about this guy? He's just like, him and Archmage are definitely the most legendary-esque in the Bannerlords, in my opinion. Decrease attack, decrease defense on an AoE, 95%. Grab sniper, it's 100%. Decrease speed on his A1. You'd love to see that too. And then he has kind of he has that that note or the asterisk next to him. He's the first champion in the game to add increase accuracy, granted on kind of a niche passive. And he's fast, a lot of HP. Stag Knight, class act.
He's awesome, an awesome champion.
Yeah.
I'm praying to get one on my free-to-play, man. Hopefully, one day it's gonna happen. Mask Fear.
Yeah, not to make you jealous, but I got him on my free-to-play.
Ah, damn, man. I'm hoping maybe.
I haven't built him yet.
I'm hoping for this weekend, maybe.
Yeah. Mass Fearmonger, dude, I hate this guy.
I was gonna say, like,
this guy.
This was for the Halloween last year, right?
Halloween. Yep.
Damn.
Dude, they went from Madam Ceres and Miscreated Monster to Mass Fearmonger. What the heck, Plarium?
I know, right? I'm curious what they're gonna do this year.
I know, right?
A bully.
We'll find out in a month or so, or 2.
A bully, probably.
Yeah, I mean, we could go through his kit. It all synergizes. It's all like single target. The synergizes with Fear and True Fear debuffs. But even if you do have the Fear and True Fear, like he's still not putting out a ton of damage. I'm really not a big fan of him.
Yeah, he doesn't hit hard, and he's all about fear, So
yeah,
it's just another weekend champion, guys. He looks cool, right? It's like Jason, or is it Freddy? I can't remember. Jason, I think, right?
Yeah. Yep, Jason.
So rather than that, if you wanna have if you wanna have a Jason on your account,
Yeah, there you go. Aesthetic wise, I agree. This next dude though, I'm actually really high on.
Giscard, yeah, he's not bad actually. I'm keep getting my ass whooped on the free-to-play in arena by this guy, man.
Dude, I don't know why people don't give him any more love, man. Like I'm willing to go to bat for Giscard, right? He's got the decrease attack on the A1. He's got the provoke on all enemies on a 3-turn cooldown, a shield. on himself. He's got increased defense and increased attack on a 3-turn cooldown. I mean, what else do you want from this dude? You know?
He's nice. He's nice. I know that.
And his pass is cool too.
Yeah, this was the one that got nerfed instant, right?
Yes.
He was a bit.
That was the dumbest thing. That was the dumbest thing for them to even go public with all that stuff, you know? Because I think him being nerfed pre-launch. Like, first of all, it's irrelevant. Who cares? They make a million balance changes to all these champions pre-launch. But to, like, you know, announce him, I think the A2 was on a 2-turn cooldown or something like that, right?
Something was crazy on him. Yeah, I can't even remember what.
Yeah. I think that's what it was. I think the A2, the provoke was on a 2-turn
and more
cooldown.
meter in the passive, actually. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah. But like he's still really good still. Like, you know, that's my opinion at least. He's a really good progression champion.
I mean, you can just look at the base stats. Almost 1.5k defense for an epic champion. All the rest they had 1.3. That's already a plus. And the provoke and attack down.
Increase defense and increase attack on the same ability on a 3-turn.
Yeah.
You know? That's solid.
Definitely awesome.
You can help a lot of players out. All right, so that concludes Bannerlords.
Indeed, because we're moving to the voice there.
Only like 10 more factions to go, Skratch.
we got him this time around, guys. We got him this time around. I was like, Ash, you know, you want to make a quick collab, like a 5 minutes video, you know?
Like, you got like 10 minutes of time? I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do it. 10 minutes, go. All right, I'm just joking, man. Here we go.
Royal Guard. Now, this is another awesome epic champion. Even though they kind of racked a bit the enemy max HP champions, they are promising us that something will come in the future, that they're going to bring them back at the top of the food chain, to say like this, you know?
Yeah, I wonder what that's going to look like. What are they going to have, a boss that only enemy max HP champions work against?
Who knows? I am curious, honestly, about it. Like, at the moment, he's in the fastest Fire Knight team in the game, guys, on stage 25. So he's still a badass champion. Tons of damage on the A2, guys. Great for progression, decreased speed, decreased turn meter. Like, it's not much that we can tell you bad. Build him. You got him. Take him out of the vault. Build him regardless where you are in the game. Tyrell, again, another awesome epic champion. I was blessed on my main account to actually get these epic champions in the very first 5 epic champions that I had. Tyrell and Royal Guard. And
good for you, bro. Good for you.
I was clueless how good Tyrell was on clan boss. Everybody was running attack down on clan boss, and I was like, well, why is Tyrell so good for clan boss? He doesn't bring any poisons, guys. Like, and then I was like, oh, okay, you need a tag down for the clan boss. What a noob I was. AoE defense down, decrease turn meter, stun if you deplete the turn meter, defense aura, good base stats. Definitely worth investing in Tyrell as well. Tennesil, what do you think about Tennesil?
I think that Tennesil is an all-right progression support champion. He has a good heal and increased defense on a 3-turn cooldown on the A2. And he has a weak-hitting, crappy A3. And the rest of his kit actually just kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's mainly the A2.
If you're just looking for an increased defense champion, like a support champion, a healer, and you don't have like Mausoleum Mage, I think he's worth building to level, I guess, 50, maybe 60.
Yeah.
What about you?
I kind of like that idea, the A2. That's kind of like the only thing that I like about him. In terms of stats, is not very impressive. I'm not sure if I would actually invest in this champion anymore. If you were asking me like 8-9 months ago when we had less champions, 1 year ago, I was like, yeah, probably I would invest on him early on for clan boss if I don't have bad options. But I feel like now I wouldn't. And it's the same with Lutea, whatever you say her name. Another super power crypt epic champion, right? Super low chance to land poison on the A1. 3 times at random.
Decreased speed on a 4-turn, though, you know? Like, who needs decreased speed on a 4-turn anymore when we have Visix, you know?
Exactly.
I mean, I guess people who don't have that daily login reward champion yet, but still, is she worth building just for that? I don't think so.
No, and the aura is the best thing about her, right? Her base stats are not impressive in terms of HP and attack. Speed-wise, she's very slow, right?
You are right about that, yeah.
And I don't like this A2 attacks 3 times at random, 25% chance to land the freeze. Like, come on, man, what's that? Pixniel all around?
Right? She's like the inception for Pixniel.
Absolutely.
I think she's a good-looking gal, though.
She's a good-looking girl. I would take her out for a couple of drinks. Like, I'm not saying no to that, you know? Maybe my wife will say no to that, but personally, I won't say no to that, you know? Now, then we have Fergus. What do you think about this bad boy?
Yeah, dude. I mean, he's a beast. He is a beast champion. I think he's worth investing in for sure. I don't think he got a lot of love immediately after his big buff. He used to really suck. He used to be like one of the worst champions in the game, kind of a laughing stock. But they reworked him quite a bit and they made his A2 so he has ally protect on all allies, increased defense on himself, and then that single target on a 3-turn cooldown, increased speed, reflect damage, and continuous heal. It's a good ability. But then the passive keeps him alive basically forever, right? He has continuous heals and shields on himself, depending on how much HP he loses. So I think that Vergis is a very good champion now.
And this is a champion that I'm calling a real champion. Like, if you look at the book requirements, 7 epic books. That's how the champion should be,
Dude.
man. Like, that's
right.
That's really the creme de la creme. Super good base stats as well. Overall, definitely invest. He can solo the Scarab King, guys. Once you get to the Doom Tower, you'll be using this champion like forever, to say like this. Marksman, another power creep champion. Not a fan of this at all. Super slow in terms of speed.
Yeah, and he has a turn meter fill, but he's really slow, and the rest of his kit sucks. So yeah, I don't know. There's not much to say about this guy except for I really don't like him.
Yeah, so if you have full crit rate on him, he does land the poison from the A1. Fills the turn meter of all allies. 4 times at random. Again, is not that great. Maybe if early on, if you really need a poisoner, but now you're getting a free ninja, guys, so you don't really need a poisoner for clan boss. So not really worth it to invest in worthless champions like this dude right here, But
yeah. What do you think about Jingle Hunter?
Jingle Hunter, like, this guy is old school. He looks awesome though. I really like the looks on Jingle Hunter. He does have a pretty nice aura for arena, right? 24%.
Yeah, I'm gonna be such a hater, bro. You're gonna hate me, but like, I don't think he looks that cool.
I like the looks on him. Like,
it's like, I think he looks like a little elf. I guess that's what he's supposed to. But maybe
Christmassy.
it's the name Jingle Hunter. Like, you don't really get too scared going against that Jingle Hunter, do you?
No, you don't. But that's the
maybe it's the name. Maybe it's the aesthetics are okay. I just get thrown off by the Jingle Hunter, cute. Like when you see Jingle Hunter in the arena, because that's the only place he's played. Tag team arena basically. Do you get intimidated? I don't really.
Nah, I don't really get intimidated by him at all, honestly. But
he's not bad. He's not awful though. He's not awful.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, compared to other champions, like, we just had two champions from this faction that are worse than him. He does have pretty good base speed.
Yeah. To me, he's like a champion that if you don't have a good aura lead, like if you don't have Gorgorab or Skull Crown, obviously don't have like Arbiter or Lysandra for legendaries, you might be hurting for a good aura lead for your arena team. And in that case, I can see him as being a pretty solid arena champion for being a speed aura lead. And then going into, if you can kill somebody, go in with the freeze or start with the A3, which is probably ideal, and get that turn meter manipulation.
Yeah, I still wouldn't book the champion though. Like, I wouldn't suggest anyone, guys, to book the champion, regardless where you're planning to use him.
Yeah, I think he's definitely. I would say he used to be like a little bit above average for arena like 2 years ago, and now I'd say sadly because of power creep, which is the case with a lot of these champions. I think he's a little bit below.
Yeah,
average.
because they're like super OG champions,
Yeah.
What about
all right?
What about the next faction? Actually, we reached the voids there. Sacred Order. Now here we have so many epic champions.
Oh my god, we gotta go lightning round.
Lightning, exactly. Cannoness. 2 points for Cannoness. What are we saying about this champion here?
Well, she's defense based and she's like pretty easy to keep alive, but is that the only qualifier to building a champion? She has a strong single target buff, right? She has continuous heal, increased defense, ally protection. But to me, that's not enough to justify building her. She's very slow. Again, a little bit of power creep there. I'm just not a huge fan of her.
Oh wow, I actually haven't seen the speed on her. 89. I don't like this. This attack is always critical. Leech, decrease accuracy on a target for 2 turns. Is not impressive either, honestly. She needs quite a few books to make a use of her. Ally protection only on 1 champion, definitely not something that I would suggest you to invest. And same with Adriel. What do you think about Adriel? I feel like she got really power creeped in terms of heals as well, honestly.
Yeah, I have not built Adriel, so I cannot speak from from experience with her. But again, sad to say, but yeah, I'm not a big fan. Like, she's not bringing up. I mean, her cool blinding flash, her A3 here. I mean, that should not be on a 5-turn cooldown. That should be on a 3-turn cooldown for me to invest.
Yeah.
And I guess that's like to me. That's all I have to say about her.
And she's a healer. She needs to have crit rate. She's a bit weird. It's not a strong heal. She could help you for faction wars though, so I'm not gonna take that away from her as a healer. Hope. They say that hope dies last, but not in this case.
Okay, well, do you hate Hope?
I don't hate her.
Mind Hope.
She's okay.
I don't mind Hope. I don't mind Hope. She has the like the increase in duration of buffs on all allies, blah blah. The shield on all allies, so you got a 4-turn shield. Isn't that special anymore in the game? But it used to be.
Yeah.
But Holy Storm, I really like the Holy Storm ability because it's a 3-turn cooldown. We talked about this on what's her face on Chancellor Yasmin. 3-turn cooldown, 75% chance with the attack. It's not a bad ability. Not a bad ability to have. Even on a 4-turn cooldown, if you want to use her without booking her, I think she can help you out in progression a little bit.
Definitely.
She's not a game changer, but she's not awful.
Towards faction wars. Now, I can't stand this champion, honestly. Frostbringer.
Frostbringer? Yeah.
Why?
Frostbringer doesn't bring any frost.
Exactly. I think that's the reason why I can't stand her. 2 times at random, a small chance to land heal reduction. 3 times at random, decrease defense for 2 turns if the target is under a heal reduction. That kind of doesn't go hand in hand good. Places increase speed, increase attack on all allies for 2 turns. That's on a 4-turn cooldown. So
yeah.
If she would have had like a speed aura, she would have been decent for arena. But like this, I feel like she does have a pretty nice base speed and pretty good base stats overall, But rather than that, she's well power creeped. And she needs quite a few books as well, man. All of them, they like to read these champions. What do you think about Talia? She's a pretty face.
Yeah, well, Talia, everybody tells me that she hits incredibly hard. Good for Fire Knight. I know that. I have not built her. She's a Phoenix or Phoenix, however you say his name.
Phoenix,
She's a companion champion to him. That's pretty cool. I like Phoenix a lot better than I'd like Talia. However, people seem to like Talia. Whenever I mention her, people are like, she hits so hard. Any experience with her firsthand? I wouldn't build her. Personally.
I only took her at level 50. For the Fire Knight, because she was one of my very first epics as well on my main account, but she was too squishy. So because of it, I stopped investing in her. So I changed my mind. I didn't took her to 60.
12k HP, Skratch? What's up with that?
Exactly. I didn't took her to level 60 in the end, honestly. But I heard she hits hard.
She's not a bad champion. I'll say that. But I'm not sure if I'm going to max her out, though,
No, I mean, aren't there like 20, 30 more epic champions that hit hard in the game, guys? Like, we just got a Magnar. Yeah. Everyone was able to get a Magnar for free, and he's much better overall. Juliana, I got her on my free-to-play account. She is gorgeous, but honestly, I don't really like to use her. I wouldn't invest in her.
I'm so glad. I am so glad you said that because people love Juliana. I'm glad this is your channel and not mine because I don't want people to hate me on my channel. But dude, I hate Juliana. I think that she's a real trash champion, in my opinion. Like she's deceiving enough for people to invest in her. But what? We get a poison for 3 turns on a 5-turn cooldown? We have an HP burn. That's great. On a 5-turn cooldown that needs 1 billion books to land at 100%. I'm not excited about 1 HP burn and 1 poison, both on 5-turn cooldowns.
I know.
Are you?
No, not at all. Actually, ages ago, I was like super desperate. Give me Juliana. Give me Juliana.
Everybody wanted her. Look at, she has 15,000 reviews in game. I don't even know why. Why do people love her so much?
She's an OG champion, and back in the day, we barely had any poisoners, man. So we had her. We had Xavier.
Aothar, you had Aothar, Occult Brawler. They were all in the game. Kale was in the game,
Occult Brawler was not in the game at that point, I think. I think he was...
When was he added?
He was added at some point. But Aothar, he got a buff at some point because he was worse than he is right now. Because now he's pretty good. And Juliana, Xavier, Kale, and I can't even remember what other poisoner we had that were rocking. That's why everybody wanted Juliana. Colhard, she was actually rocking the clan boss as well. But now...
Wow. So there was a time in the game... I didn't even realize. I started the game after Occult Brawler was released. I thought he was just a legacy champion. So I guess I'm wrong.
He was added afterwards, yeah.
But But so way back in the day when there were no poisoners in the game, that's why people love her.
Exactly.
That's why you're telling me. Okay.
But that was like a gazillion years ago. Since then, we got so many new poisoners. And Sanguinia. I really thought she was gonna be useful for the bomb boss in the Doom Tower now, but we cannot transfer back the bombs, so that's not good.
No, no. Sanguinia, I do think is a good champion overall, though. You know, she has base stats are solid, good speed, good defense, good HP. She has a transferring all debuffs from this champion to a target, and then removes all debuffs from all other allies. So a full cleanse on a 4-turn cooldown with a transfer. And then again, block debuffs. I love that buff. I love continuous heal. It's on a 3-turn cooldown. I think that she is a 3-time hitter on her A1 as well. I think that she is a solid, like slightly above average champion. You know?
Yeah, I would invest in this champion 100%. The only problem again, they all seem to, man, they need so many books. Like I'm just looking at her A3 and I've seen like 1,000 books there, and then I clicked on the A2 that calmed me down a bit, one book only, and I was like, damn.
Yes.
They still need tons of books. She's an awesome champion though. I like Sanguinia. Eotar.
Agreed. Eothar. Well, there's the guy. Speak of the devil, right?
Go on. I'll go after.
I was gonna say I think he's been power crept a bit with all the amazing poisoners and poison sensitivity champions being added to the game. With that said, you know, still a dependable poison layer if you're looking for it in Force Affinity.
Yeah, he's not bad in terms of that. If you get him and you really have no other poisoner, I would probably end up using him. I personally use him on my main account on my unkillable teams 1.5 years ago. I haven't used Eotar in ages, let me tell you that, right? So, yeah, power creep. He needs quite a few books. He's very slow. Rather than that, if you don't have a better option, I'm not going to say no to it, you know? Rally Keeper.
Yeah, I mean, you can do 4 poisons on a 3-turn cooldown. You can do a lot worse, you know, against Clan Boss.
Definitely.
Rally Keeper is trash. Next.
Rally Keeper, yeah, Fusion, guys. He's not amazing. He's, again, a weekend champion. You get him, you kill somebody, an extra turn, you'll keep on doing it if you have good gear on them. With average gear, they're not going to do much.
He's like the super budget campaign farmer if you want to kill everybody one by one and take 40 seconds doing so, you know?
Kind of like that, yeah, exactly. And the wrong affinity for it as well. Right. Missionary.
Exactly. Missionary, what can I say, Skratch? Just not a fan of Missionary.
Nah, okay, I'm not going to say that, guys. I'm not going to say that. But if we're looking at this right here, decent base stats for a HP-based champion. He could be used potentially on a shield. He's pretty slow. Force affinity. His aura is not bad overall, but single target. Single target.
Can't get excited about that.
No, and he needs books to be able to do something, you know. So I wouldn't get too excited about this champion. I wouldn't recommend anyone to actually build this champion. Same with Romero.
I would not either. No, I disagree. I think that Romero is a good take to level 50 champion for Faction Wars. You know, I think that, like, I actually used him in Faction Wars. I built Romero, and that continuous heal on the A1 is nice to have. He's damage based on defense, and he has a decent amount of defense, so he's kind of easy to keep alive. He's got on the A2 another decent heal, right? You can steal a buff from a random enemy, which is random and weird. But he has another continuous heal, and then he has a shield on all allies on a 5-turn cooldown with increased defense on himself, which is kind of weird and like unnecessary, but whatever. But between the shield and the continuous heal on the A2, continuous heal on the A1, again, I think that I'm speaking from experience, he helped me a lot on in Faction Wars. I had a really crappy team, still able to beat level 21 back in the day with Romero, and of all things, I used a rare too. I used Romero and Draconis as my support champions. It was right after Draconis was released. And so anyway, he's not great, but you could do worse. I
mean, for Faction Wars level 50, yeah, I'm not gonna say no to it, but would you book the champion?
What a qualifier, right? I'm like, I love this guy for Faction Wars at level 50 unbooked.
Yeah, exactly. Sound like that.
Yeah.
Lady Etesa.
Okay, fair enough.
I heard she...
Ally attack champion, man. No one talks about her when they talk about ally attacks because she only attacks with 2 allies.
Exactly, yeah.
You know? So, she's one of the worst.
Yeah.
Epic ally attacks.
My God, look at that A2. I just want to do like this. Oh my God, so many books, you know.
Yeah, poor Skratch is like every champion.
Yeah, man, I'm like getting scared here, you know, because I haven't looked at some of these epic champions in a while, and I'm like, whoa. Mordecai, awesome champion, definitely.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, man. I mean, I think that he is a magician when it comes to Spider, dude. Like he's my Spider 25 champion. I imagine a lot of people use him who have him for Spider because he can just put out an insane amount of damage. Have you tried one of those teams with him and Achak the Wenderin on the same
I
team?
did actually, yeah.
Oh, dude, it's sick, right?
I like the dude a lot, man. Even for the Doom Tower, for the
Yeah.
Eternal Dragon, he's pretty good if you don't have a Dragstar yet.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah, solid A2. Yeah.
generally awesome champion. Invest with confidence, guys. Then we have Bushi.
Agreed.
Bushi, I actually made a clan boss team with him ages ago because of the unkillable buff he was facing it and the revive and all the stuff. But then he got a buff with increased speed that kind of threw it off a bit. And overall, he doesn't do much. His aura is good for arena, guys. His base stats are not impressive. He's super slow as well. Attacks one enemy, not impressive. Attacks one enemy, not impressive. So not a champion I would suggest you to invest in, honestly.
I agree. Next is, so I always said his name Fenax, right? Personally, that's why I mentioned it earlier. But then I was watching another channel, I forgot who it was, but they were like, I love Phoenix.
Yeah,
and I'm like, Phoenix?
I'm calling him Phoenix.
You call him, maybe it was you I was watching.
Maybe. I made a video on him ages ago, like how powerful he is actually, yeah, ages ago.
I gotta ask your audience then, what do you say? Is it Phoenix, like Pheonix, or Fenax, like I say? I think I've been saying it wrong. I don't know. Anyway, I love this dude, Skratch. I built him, I think, just off of other people saying that he was really solid, really underrated. And I was not disappointed because that put down A1, it deals an insane, like, at first you look at it and you're like, place an extra hit, whatever. Enemies killed cannot wait. A block revival on an A1? What sense does that make? And then you're like, oh, because it's like the second or third hardest hitting A1 inside the entire game. That's what sense it makes, you know? Very hard hitting. And it's nice to run this champion on kind of ally attack teams because of his hard hitting A1 or counter attack teams, because he can also be your debuffer. Albeit on a 4-turn cooldown, he's bringing decreased defense and decreased speed on his A3, and he has block buffs, which is great, or block active skills. On his A2. So I think that overall he's a really good champion.
Absolutely.
I would invest.
I would still invest in him. Great for Ice Golem, great for Arena, guys. Great for Clan Boss. You'll be impressed to see what damage he deals with A1. And talking about the names, guys, Ash, I'm pretty famous for being the biggest butcher when we're talking about names in here. Like, I'm butchering lots of names, so I might be the wrong one in here, you know?
Dude, join the club, bro. Join the club.
Deacon Armstrong. Now, I know you love this champion. Personally, I do love this champion as well. Awesome stuff. Invest with confidence, guys. Increase the speed in all battles on the aura. Turn meter, extra turn, defense down AoE, leech on the A1. Amazing base stats. And he does require some books, but at least he's worth it, guys. With confidence, great champion all around. Mistress of Hymns.
Yeah, the mistress here. I think that she's been power crept. Like, I think she's an OG legacy champion. And back in the day, like, she was an all right reviver. But again, I feel like there's a lot of good revivers out there in the game right now, and who are better, on a 5-turn cooldown with the kind of a mediocre buff on top of it. What about you?
Yeah, I think the same. Like, definitely all the new revivers that they got released for every single faction in the last, I don't know, 6 months to 1 year. All of them, they're better because when they revive, they actually do more than this. They either put 2 buffs, they give turn meter, they give increased attack, they do some more rather than just this. But if you have no one else for Faction Wars to revive, guys, she could be a pretty good option. Lodric Falcon Heart. Now, what do we have on this guy? Because I kind of forgot. Decreased attack on the A1. Removes all debuffs from one ally. 50% ally protection.
Yeah,
1.
He's known for his A3, man, because it has the shield for 2 turns on a 2-turn cooldown, which makes him one of, I think, 3 champions. Valkyrie, him, and Mel Shaper. 3 champions that have the shield that lasts as long as the cooldown. So I think that for that reason, he's pretty good for Scarab King, and but that's about it, I guess.
Yep. I actually, when you started saying, I remembered what he's doing with A3. So yeah, for the Scarab King, guys, is pretty decent to help you with the shield. So definitely a champion to consider in building for that. He does need some books in there and in the A1, but if you're really struggling with that boss, I would suggest you this champion to be built for the Scarab King. And I think we should be done with them here.
Yes.
We are. I'm moving over only to the 4th faction. Sweet Jesus. And again, a bunch of them here. I'm sorry, Ash. I'm sorry.
Might have to be a two-parter. All right.
Aina, what do you think about her? She looks
Yeah.
awesome. Like, it's one of my most favorite designs in the entire game.
Yeah, I actually haven't taken a long look at her, but I tend to agree, my friend. I tend to agree. Uh, I like her. I like her aesthetically, but in terms of her overall, actually, she doesn't have a bad kit here,
No, and
does
she
she?
deals pretty good damage, so she can be used for unkillable
Yeah.
teams for clan boss. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, her defense is so low, but you're right. It has to be
Mm.
unkillable. But I think that overall, she's I don't know. I guess an average champion. What do
Yeah,
you
in
think?
terms of that average champion. But if you're building like a Barrier comp and you have no other champion like a Fane or a Anax, a champion that brings the defense down and weaken, definitely a champion that you could consider to build in specifically for that, guys. But rather than that, I don't feel like she has much benefits towards faction wars and anything like that, you know.
Agreed. All right, Jotun.
Jotun, yeah,
This guy gets a lot of hate, man. This guy gets a lot of hate.
he's a HP based champion, right?
Yeah, and he has not a lot of HP. I mean, for me, he's only worth building if you're desperate for somebody to land an HP burn. There's not a ton of epics who have HP burns, and he's unique because he's placing it on a 3-turn cooldown for 4 turns.
Yeah.
So he can outpace his own HP burn, which is, I guess, cool. But otherwise, I think that overall, I am not a big fan of this guy unless you really want a burner for HP or for a clan boss or for a Doom Tower boss because you don't have like Drexstar or whoever. You know?
Yeah, that would be kind of like the only reason why I would invest in him. He's pretty slow as well, so I'm not a big fan of that for a big guy.
He's just not that good.
Not really, no.
Yeah.
We have
Sakara.
I love her for faction wars, honestly. Now they are the most famous sisters in raid, guys. They are librarians. Sikara, and she has a sister which is called Alika.
And Alika.
They love to read more than Pixniel. Altogether, I think they need like 2,500 books. I can't remember, but they're like 40 books in total or something like that. Something ridiculous to book both of the sisters. On the A1, fills the champion's turn meter by 25 if the attack is critical. The reason I like her is the A2 on a 4-turn cooldown has, what is it? 75% chance to remove one random buff from the target with each hit. So for faction wars, it's actually amazing, especially for the last stage where we have the man-eater and they place unkillable. And of course, there are plenty of other stages with champions buffing, but I feel like that's the main reason why I'm using her, you know? And I'm still using her in the current day, even though I have most of the OP legendary champions except one void one from here.
I agree. Very, very cool champion to use in a stun set.
That's how I have her as well on a stun set.
Yeah, because on that A3, you got a chance. You got 3 chances on the A2 as well. I almost feel like you go fearsome presence with her, right? And get 23% stun per hit. I think that's
what I have on her as well.
Combo.
She doesn't deal a lot of damage. Her base attack is pretty low, but on a stun set, she's awesome. Atur, what do you think about this bad boy?
Yeah, they made me into this champion. They photoshopped me, man. But yeah, I think he's I have not built him. He's a defense-based champion. I am not a fan. He has a provoke on his A2. What he has counterattack on himself, which leads into more provokes. And he's immune to stun, freeze, and sleep. Only available if Kali's on the same team. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of him or Akalia. What about you?
I actually built this guy, and he only belongs, in my opinion, in the Magma Dragon. So he's a boss there, but if you have war chiefs or anything like that, not really. You know.
Okay, that's true. If you really want that reliable provoker on that A1, true, because a 50% provoke with counterattack is solid. So that's a good call out there.
Armina. I'm not using this champion personally,
my girl.
but I hear a lot of good stuff about her.
Yeah, she's really good. You can pair her. She's magic affinities. You can pair her with like an Archmage helmet and a Soul of the Drakes because of her A3. Decrease the turn meter as all enemies by 20%. Has a 100% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn on enemies who have their... I'm sorry, because they're a passive. So, fills his champion's turn meter 10% for each time an enemy receives a stun. So, if you pair her with other stunners, she's filling her turn meter constantly. On her A2, she has the stealing more turn meter, right? And placing a 100% AoE decreased defense on a 3-turn cooldown. And then on the A1, she has more stun. She got a 45% chance at landing a stun on the A1. The only downside is her defense. She's very squishy.
I was gonna say that's the only thing I don't like about her so far by looking at her, you know.
But she deals a decent amount of damage. She has a ton of turn meter like steal or decreasing from between her A3 and all those stuns. She's great for crowd control mixed with defense down.
Definitely. I was gonna say for a big mama like her, I couldn't imagine her with such a low defense, you know.
Take a punch. Yeah,
Like,
take a punch.
she needs to take a punch.
You must really love Alika.
Alika, I actually don't have one build, but she deals.
Look at all the books, bro. Look at all the books.
She deals tons of damage. That's what I heard. I don't have one build, honestly.
Yes.
You know, like this librarian, I think she belongs in the library. Looking at her sister, how she's stunning my enemies, you know.
Yeah. But you hit the nail on the head, man. She's actually a really good damage dealer, believe it or not. I mean, well, you said it, so I guess you believe it. But I mean, high value target her A2. That's actually on a 2-turn cooldown with ignore 50% of target's defense. So she can go from her A3 on a 3-turn cooldown to her A2 to her A1, and her A3 is already back off cooldown again. You know, that's why like with decent multipliers and decent gears, you can get a lot of damage out of her.
Yeah, she actually pumps tons of damage. Surprisingly.
Yeah.
Then Teshada. Increase attack on the A1 if this attack is critical. That's oof. Attacks 3 times at random. 75% chance to land a weaken.
Teshada is not worth our time, bro.
No. She's not, I couldn't remember what she does, but she's
really bad.
Yeah. She's bad.
She's really bad. That's enough said. Kalia, I feel the same way about. Kalia is my barbarian version of Juliana. A champion that, for whatever reason, is a legacy that a lot of people talk about, and I really don't like her. She's super soft hitting, especially for a champion that has almost 1,600 base attack, man. Like, you get her, and you see that base attack, that base speed, and if you're anything like me, back in the day, you're like, wow, I should build this champion. She must be a great nuker. And man, she's not. She doesn't deal much damage at all. She does have HP burn, which is nice. She does have like no HP and very little defense, so she's tough to keep alive, not dealing a ton of damage, and has been power crept.
Oh, she's been power creep like crazy. I used to run her in my clan boss team ages ago, and even for as an arena nuker, she was doing decent back in the day. But now I feel like I have to agree with you. Super low HP, decent speed and attack, decent defense for an attack-based champion, but that's kind of it, you know. She looks awesome. I kind of like the way she looks. But
yeah, dude, I don't think you can say decent defense when it's 848 with 12k HP.
With the HP, no, but for an attacker is kind of like standard defense, you know, more or less for an epic.
Sure.
But the HP is awful and stuff, you know. So
yeah, okay, all right. Maeve, what about your girl
My
Maeve?
girl Maeve, I'm not using her. I got her on my free-to-play. She's vaulted, and she'll be chilling there forever, probably, if she doesn't get a nice rework.
Yeah. I have heard that Anne Stay Down is a pretty hard-hitting and sick ability, but I'm not building her just for that.
Nah, not worth it. She does. You need to book that skill to get extra damage, the cooldown down. Sleep on the A1, if something happens there. Why would I put sleep on the A1, which is a bit weird, you know? And the A2, a chance to place a stun. Place a stun debuff for 2 turns if the target is under sleep. Why would I want to stun the same champion that I just CC'd before? It's a bit weird, you know. What about...
Agreed. Maeve.
Barrett, the Blood-Soaked.
Barrett. There we go.
This was a fusion champ, right?
I'm not sure if he's a fusion, but he was added this year, I believe, like towards the beginning of the year, I think. I guess he was a fusion. You're right. I don't know, man. Like, he's one of those guys that like attacks 2 times on all of his skills, and the second hit does, something different than the first hit. However, I have not built him, but I heard he's actually underwhelming when you actually build him. But that's what I've heard.
I personally haven't built him either. Just looking at his base stats, he has decent HP, so on a shield set, he might be doing something. He might help you a bit in terms of progression on the Fire Knight if you're really struggling there and you don't have enough champions to multi-hit. But rather than that, I would probably not be going like crazy out of my way to build the champion, you know?
Yeah. I mean, he has a heal, he has a shield, he has decrease attack. I don't know. It feels like you should have enough to justify trying out, but
on the Fire Knight, on the boss, if you're really struggling, I feel like he could be a bit of fun there. Then we have Wood Painted.
Hey,
that's your favorite.
She's the worst.
Was this your favorite?
She's the worst. Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, the good old Woad, I feel like she's a meme at this point, man. She's really
She
bad.
is
I
actually.
feel,
She's so
and
bad.
she's been buffed too. She's been
Was she
buffed.
when?
I thought she was buffed like maybe a year ago or
I
something, but like it was a really crappy
yeah.
buff. I
I
could be
think they
wrong.
debated us. They were like, okay, guys, we buffed this
Yeah.
champion. And we were all looking at
Yeah.
the skills and we were like, what changed? Ah, damage based on
Yeah,
attack
yeah,
and
yeah,
HP now instead of attack.
yeah. Yes. Perfect. Yeah, she's not worth building.
Hi, Katoon. You're getting her for free. Day 30, guys. I got her on my free-to-play account. She's amazing as the speed lead. The only problem with her base speed, if you're not taking her at 60, is kind of like meh. She doesn't have anything bad with her as a champion. I would like her to have a bit of more HP. Maybe a bit more speed would be nice, but I'm not gonna say no to this champion personally. You know, I would invest in her if I needed her for arena. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I have not built her on either of my accounts, despite getting her obviously for free, because on both of my accounts, I was lucky enough to pull Apothecary. And I'm not saying that she is, that you can't build her if you have Apothecary, but for me, it's just like if you already have an increased speed champion, are you going to invest in another one, in the beginning of the game? And for me, the answer personally was no. So, she's different. She's bringing a lot to the table. I think she's a really good champion, but I just have happened to pass on her on both accounts.
Yeah, I got Skullcrown as my speed lead, so I don't even have a Thermiter booster or increased speed at all at the moment. But I will probably invest in her in the next couple of weeks on my free to play. Vala, defense based champion, she hits pretty hard. She got power creeped at the same time. That's kind of the way I feel. Removes all shield buffs on all enemies, then attacks all enemies. 30% chance to land defense down, 50 fully booked. We have attacks one enemy 2 times. Nothing impressive there. Places a shield buff on this champion for 3 turns. Decent base stats, right? But I feel like she got power creeped and she doesn't really bring any sort of utility in terms of progression. That's at least my opinion.
Yeah, I think she's like, I'm with you. I think she's a cool champion. She was an Amazon Prime free champion.
Yeah.
That Amazon Prime, and with Whisper and Tuak the Wanderer and stuff. But I think she's really solid for faction wars, but and she's not a trash champion, but I just can't find another use
exactly.
for her.
That's my situation. I don't think she's bad, but I don't really have a use for her. So she's more towards like a weekend champion in my opinion. Farakin the Fat. I love this fatty boy.
The fat man.
I got him on my free-to-play account. I love him. Like, he brings so much to the table. Invests with the biggest confidence. He's my second most favorite epic champion in the entire game after Madame series. Increased crit rate, crit damage, ally attack, poison, HP burn, defense down. What else you want?
Yeah. I agree. Enough said. I mean, he's the best ally attack epic, that's for sure. I guess like who would be second best? Catacomb Counselor or something? There's not that many options,
epic
right?
ones,
So I think that's
not many.
Yeah, he's really good in that regard, and he's just bringing a lot to the table, and he has that nice kind of damage mitigation on the passive as well. So I agree 100%.
Love the fatty boy. Then we are slowly moving to the next faction, and man, they added so many epics. We gotta see what's happening here. We have Grimskin. What do you think about Grimskin from the Ogryn tribes?
So Grimskin, I've never been a huge fan of. He has an AoE with a chance of removing 1 random buff from a target on a 4-turn cooldown. I can't get excited about that. And that's about all he does. He has decreased speed on the A1, which is nice, but there's so many champions. And he's like, he has nice base stats in terms of his defense. But again, he's just not bringing enough to the table for me to really get excited, right?
And he needs like 14 books. No. Ugo, she is an awesome champion. I would invest in this champion 100%. Good stats. She has a very interesting kit as well. Leech on the A1. We have defense down, block buffs. I like.
If you want support and decreased defense from an epic champion, Ugo is the best. I feel like, because she has the heal, she has the leech, she has all that, and the block buffs is so great to have on that 3-turn cooldown.
Absolutely,
as well.
Definitely a champion that I would suggest you guys to invest. Same with Claude, the Beast Feeder. He's an awesome champion as well. You can make 2-to-1 ratio teams for clan boss. He has very good base stats, super good base speed as well. We have increased speed, increased accuracy, huge buffs for progression, guys. Even endgame, great for arena. So definitely not a champion to sleep on. Shield on the A2. Love him. The
Yep.
next,
No, I do too. I think he's really, really good.
what do you think about Siege Hulk?
I'm curious to see what you think about this guy, but I just said that Ugo is the champion for you if you're looking for that support defense, down champion. I think that Siege Hulk is the champion for you if you're looking for a DPS champion, a high damage champion with decreased defense on a 3-turn cooldown, because he is, dude. Have you maxed him?
I
Have you
haven't.
played
No,
him?
I heard he can slap.
Dude, he hits really, really hard. He's an insane nuke. He's like I want to be very careful here, but he's like the epic version of Herndig, meaning that like he can defense down and nuke really, really hard in the same kit. And his A3 hits incredibly hard as well. And he has increased crit rate, increased crit damage, and increased attack that he's putting on himself in his kit. So you don't need, it's not predicated on having all those buffs on the same team.
Yeah, he seems to be pretty on point with what he's doing. Definitely a champion that I would invest in if I would need him. Faction Wars, Arena, Dungeons, Doom Tower. I think he can definitely fit in all this team. The only thing with him is the defense is a bit low, but you gotta use champions to keep him alive.
Squishy.
Skull Crusher, counter attack champion, ally protection. Sorry, everybody loves him. We don't need to tell you guys. You already know it. Probably you're gonna be like, you guys should make Skull Crusher, right? And he
Yes, agreed.
and he only needs one lucky book. That's it. Now that's what I'm calling an epic champion, right?
But Player M has that programmed, right? So that it can't go into the A2 first,
I still
right?
haven't tried on my free-to-play. I'm curious to see if I'm gonna manage to book him with one. Shatterbones. Now he's a bit underrated, honestly. I feel like he's a champion with great potential. I used him in Platinum Arena a few months ago before we got other champions with increased accuracy buffs and stuff like that. But we have increased attack on all allies, the small version if the attack is critical. Attacks all enemies 3 times. 75% chance to decrease the turn meter and by 30%. That's with every single hit, guys. So that can go up to 90%. Increase speed, places a 15% decrease speed debuff on all enemies and fills the turn meter of all allies. Kind of like a mini Lissandra in a way or another. Awesome aura for accuracy. What do you think about this guy?
Yeah, I agree with you. He's a really, really good. I mean, that aura alone is great for the arena if you're looking for, if you have low accuracy, right? But more so than that, it's just like a turn meter control specialist, really. So yeah, I love this guy.
Awesome. Grunge Killjoy. Now he's kind of making an entrance, this bad boy, now with a new boss.
Yeah, I mean, you must love the A1 and the A2, right?
Definitely. And then
for the 9 levels of books.
That's the only problem. That's the only problem with him.
Yeah. He's a pretty cool champion. Fills the turn meter of all allies by 10% whenever a bomb debuff detonates on an enemy on Madcap. So that's definitely a very cool passive to have on a bomb team. Now with the new Doom Tower boss. And then he has the cleanse as well. So I think he could be a useful champion now with the that Doom Tower boss.
I think so too. The only problem, how he said, are the books. Is there like 20 books?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Indeed. That's pretty insane. Pretty insane.
Galcat.
But
yeah, go on.
If you want another bomb option who doesn't take as many books, still quite a few though, you can look at Galcut, right? So Galcut has the AoE attacks all enemies 1 by 1 in random order. I have not maxed out Galcut, but I heard that brutal battering actually has good multipliers.
I'm not sure, but that actually is the first time when I'm paying that much attention to this skill here.
Yeah, right.
1 by 1 in random order.
And then he has the bomb. Yeah, right. It's like, okay, cool.
Damage decreases after every single hit. Yeah, I remember actually the skill now. Attacks all enemies, places a bomb that detonates after 2 turns. That's not bad on a 4-turn cooldown. Now, if you really want a bomb champion, he might be a decent option. Increase crit rate in all dungeons. That can be helpful early on as a champion at 40, at 50, just for that crit rate if you really need it. Super.
Yeah, he's not bad.
Slow speed. And Cage Breaker.
Yeah. I am not a huge fan of Cage Breaker.
No.
Just because, again, it's a reoccurring theme here that we're seeing. I don't like champions whose one of their main skills is 3 or 4 times at random, like on his A2. And then his A3, I mean, decrease enemy max HP. I guess that's okay on a 4-turn cooldown, but that's about it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this dude either. I would not suggest to build a champion.
Yeah.
And Occult Brawler, awesome
Oh,
champion.
there he is. There he
No
is.
need to say, you've seen him in the ads. Maybe you started the game because you've seen Occult Brawler in an ad and you were like, that guy, he knows to sing, right? And you jumped in the game because you love his voice. But awesome poisoner.
Dude, I have no idea what you're talking about, by the way. I've never seen a raid ad. I mean, a full raid ad. I just skip them.
You should watch this with him. He's actually going and making a
I will.
serenade to a
I
chick.
will.
And she's
cool,
like, okay,
cool,
I'm gonna
cool.
take you in the clan boss team tomorrow. See you at the clan boss. Awesome poisoner, guys. Definitely one of the best poisoners in the game.
Yeah.
He's in the top, you know, with the legendaries. Grush the Mangler,
Completely
free
agree.
champion. I love this dude. Leech, tons of heal, pretty good base stats. He's pretty hard as well. Decrease attack or decrease crit damage on a 4 turn cooldown. He's definitely not a bad champion, honestly. What do you think about this guy?
Grush, very, very good champion. One of the better daily login reward champions out there. I just love how much damage he can do, paired with how much healing he can bring to the table, right? Especially that A3, man. I mean, getting the 2 continuous heals is really, really solid. And then having I mean, the only downside, and everybody says it, is the A2, right? If it was just decrease attack, not an decrease crit damage, he would be insanely good. But you know, it is what it is. But yeah, we don't want decreased crit damage. We want the decreased attack.
Absolutely,
you know?
Absolutely, to be more reliable. And that concluded this faction, guys. Moving over to the Lizardman faction. Thanks God we have less here. We have Jarang. What do you think about Jarang?
Yep. Jarang is... I think power crept. I don't think he's any good anymore.
Yeah, definitely. The only place where he's good, guys, is the secret room for Doom Tower. And that's about it. Even there, he's not that good, honestly, because
I don't even run him there. Yeah.
We have Jarrig and we have the other one, which we're gonna get to in a second. Jarrig, I still think he's an awesome champion. We are seeing him used all around clan boss, dungeons, Doom Tower. Great on the Eternal Dragon. Great on the Griffin. I'm sure he'll be great on one of the new ones as well. Overall, he's an awesome champion. I would invest in him 100%, even for that attack down as well. Nice passive. Then we have Venomage. Awesome if you have Vizier. If not, I'm going to have to quote Deadwood Jedi here and say he's the Fool's Gold if you don't have a Vizier, you know.
Interesting. I have not built him yet. So I thought that he was like one of... I couldn't wait to build him for Clan Boss, right? With the instantly activating up to 2 poisons. But I guess the reason you're saying with Vizier is that you need to extend the duration as well. Otherwise, it's just going to be, you know, depleting the poisons.
Exactly. So that's why Deadwood Jedi said is the Fool's Gold is champion. I like her with Vizier. She was awesome, actually. She dealt crazy damage. But without Vizier, she's not that awesome. At least she has defense down. She has decreased attack.
You're calling her... I called her a guy. My bad. I didn't pick up on that.
That's all good, man.
I'm not sure how you can tell the gender, but I'll go.
I don't know. It's just the animation. Actually, I called Venomage a guy too, and the guys explained me it's all about the animation. Now, Basilisk.
I apologize.
Basilisk.
I like this dude,
I actually
man.
like him. I like the AoE on the A1 stun set. Great for that.
Yes.
For that stage. Then we have the passive. Decent if he dies, right? And attacks one enemy, places a stun debuff for 1 turn. Simple. You know what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, simple. You can even shut off that A2 if you want to and just go A1 all the time, because that A1 is actually pretty dang hard hitting, you know, as it stands in the way of AoEs on A1s. I was really impressed with how much damage that puts out.
I like Basilisk. He's actually not a bad champion at all. I would use him as a Faction Wars. I would use him as a CC just generally on a stun set. AoE champion, I like him.
Yeah.
Aox, the Rememberer. Again, this is a pretty solid champion as well. Can do wonders in dungeons as well, on the Dragon, on the Ice Golem as well. I would suggest you to invest. Decent for Clan Boss, pretty good heal. Now, don't expect tons and tons of poison, particularly from this champion, because the chance of doing it is pretty low, but Aox is an awesome champion. What do you think about Drake?
Yeah. So yeah, and Aox's passive too is really,
let's go back
really
to it.
solid. Yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, Drake, he's kind of fun to just chain kill enemies, right? Because he has that hard hitting A1. However, other than that, I am not a huge fan, although he can be built even at level 50 to help on that secret room if people are struggling on Doom Tower
Yeah,
hard.
so this is more kind of like a weekend champion. Same with Rally Keeper, Hordin, kind of in the
Mhm.
in the same bracket. Jizo, we are getting him
Exactly.
for free on day 14 when we start the game, right? So
Yes. Yes.
I
I am not
yeah,
investing.
I'm not investing on my free to play. He's at level 40 at the moment, right? That doesn't mean that I won't be investing
Yes.
later on for faction or depending on what other champions I'm pulling. I finally 6-star one of them for my secret rooms on my main account. And the reason why I'm 6-starring all these champions is not necessarily that it's needed. I have my chickens and I have the clan versus clan where I gotta rank points and fusions. And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
fusions, I have no champions to level up, so I'm just going through champions that I could use at 50, but then I'm 6-starring them just to get points for my fusions and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I'm with you. I'm in the same exact boat in terms of like clan versus clan, especially. I'm like, okay, who can I justify building or booking? You
Exactly.
know, I agree with you. Jizzo's, he's not trash. He's not trash. He's not like Yaga the
Hmm.
Insatiable, who's real trash daily login. But Jizzo, in my opinion, his feature is that he's tough to kill, right? He has shield counterattack on one ally. He has grant an extra turn. He's defense base. He has continuous heal on himself. He has provoke. So he's bringing enough to the table to justify building to level 50 at least,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
definitely.
All right, Quargon the
He's
Crowned.
not a bad champion actually. I like that we
I
have
heard
the
that.
heals, we have the
I heard
shield
that.
on a 3-turn cooldown from the A2. Perfect Veil, increase attack on all allies whose attack is higher, or increase defense and block debuffs buff on allies whose defense is higher than their attack. So great for faction wars, guys. He could be good for the Doom Tower, good for progression overall. So if you get your hand on the champion and you need a support, definitely consider investing in the champion.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think he's a slightly above
Yeah,
average
I
champion,
think so too.
support
Yeah.
champion.
Then we done with this faction as well. Moving over to the Skinwalkers, and we have Taurus, fun champion if you have a Xavier or a champion that detonates the poisons, right? What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's known basically just for the Toxic Nova ability as A3. 4 poisons on all enemies for 2 turns is pretty
Yeah.
solid.
So you might think he's awesome for clan boss. Yes and no. Like he takes a lot of damage, so you need
Yeah,
to get him back on full HP if you're not running him on unkillable teams. But he can be pretty fun.
yeah.
Definitely not a bad champion. I would not waste the champion. And guys, by the way, I know we haven't specified this at the beginning, but do not feed any of these epic champions, even though we gave them bad reviews at the moment, because we have a champion rebalance coming in the game pretty soon. So you might
True.
wanna hang in there and see what's happening with the rebalance. Flash Terror. What do you
I
think about
agree.
Flash
I agree.
Terror? Use him at all?
I I think he's been power crept personally. Lay low used to be like a decent ability because it's one of those decrease the duration of enemy buffs and increase the duration of enemy debuffs. But it's on a 4 turn cooldown. There's much better out there now, and he has bad, really bad speed as well. So I'm not a big fan of
Yes,
Flesh
same.
Terror.
I actually use him when the Doom Tower came out just to increase the duration of poisons on bosses and stuff. But
Okay.
that got nerfed, so I have no more use for the champion. I haven't used it since then. Reaper, again, a champion
Yep. Yep.
that
Yep.
I'm not excited about him. I'm not using him. I would not suggest you to invest in him in the state he's. Nothing really that stands out here. More than he
Needs a
needs a
buff.
buff, definitely.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Rain Beast, kind of the same
Yeah,
thing,
he
right?
was something back in the day, man. Like, damn,
Oh yeah,
was
back in
full
the
of them.
day, man. Everybody, yeah. It was like he was like the most talked about
I
champion back
know
in the day, right? Everybody's like, "You got a Rain Beast? You got Rain
in
Beast?"
arena, like if you are putting 4 of this in arena, it's like you were having an unkillable team. I swear, like it was so hard to kill them. Oh
Exactly.
my god.
Yep. He was like the most annoying champion and the most popular champion for a long time, but then he was nerfed, and now I think
Power
he's,
crypt.
do you think he's useless or do you think he's okay
I
or,
think he needs
you know?
a bit of a touch to
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm not a huge fan. Snorting Thug. Snorting Thug, I have not built, so I kind of forgot what he does, honestly. But I can't say that I'm super impressed in his kit.
So what I know is that he hits pretty hard with his A2. He's a HP based champion, ignores the target's defense if they have no
Uh-huh.
active buffs, steals to random buffs from the target. If you want a single target hitter, he might be decent, but we have so many champions that do that, and you won't be
Yeah.
having any sort of progression. Again, he's more of a weekend champion, test out, have fun with him, right, and stuff like that. Yaga, I would
Yeah.
not suggest you to invest in this champion at all. Even fully booked, he doesn't do nothing. So definitely is
He's
a bait.
trash,
He's
man.
very trash, this champion, 100%.
Yeah, he's really, really, really bad. And anybody who says otherwise, you've been baited, you know, because like you look at him, you're like, oh, poison, nice. Oh, more poison on the A2. And you know, damage increases on targets under poison. But think about it, you know, guys, you have a 75% chance at landing a couple poisons on a 4-turn cooldown that requires a bunch of books. And on the A1, you got a 50% chance of placing one poison. To me, that is not going to get you very far in this game. And being an epic champion, you're just going to have to invest too many resources just to get a couple poisons landed, you know? I am not a huge fan of him. Even the A3 is on a 4-turn cooldown. And that's what it's all about, guys. Like we're not sitting here telling you guys don't invest in these champions, right? The game is all about having fun and using unpopular champions or champions that, you know, talking heads on YouTube say are not good, can be a lot of fun still, right? So of course, have fun, enjoy, invest in all these champions. As Skratch said, you know, don't trash any of these champions, but we want to, you know, orient our advice to you guys based on not letting you or you know, giving you a heads up not to waste your resources on champions that you could probably be better served investing in other ones.
Absolutely.
Sorry for the
No,
monologue.
that makes perfect sense, man. Like that's the whole idea why we're doing the review on epics. Because if no, it would be pointless to do it. You know, it's
Yeah.
like this. The majority of you guys, we have the 2x sacreds coming in as well. You'll be pulling a bunch of epic champions because we know how hard it is to get a legendary champion, right? And like this, at least we have an idea to see, is it worth it for me to build this champion? Can I do anything with it, you know? Or just vault it for the moment and pray that it's gonna get buffed in the near future. What do you think about Ursine Ice Crusher? Now, personally, I haven't used any of the bears. They came together with the battle pass like quite a while ago. Are you using any of them?
Yes. I am not using Arson Ice Crusher, but he does have decreased crit rate. I think he's the only champion in the game. There might have added another one, but like just as a side note, he has a lot of defense, not a lot of speed, and he's not bringing much to the table. The other bear, though, I think is actually solid. He has good multipliers. He's got turn meter reduction on the A1 and on his passive, and he has an AoE defense-based decreased attack on his A3. Good for faction wars, not really elsewhere.
Yeah, I feel like the bears are towards faction, or especially this one. I know that together they have a bit of a synergy sort of chemistry, but it doesn't really do much. So this one, Ironhide, is definitely better than the other one. What do you think about the Hippo, for example, Ash?
Yeah, man, I think he's a pretty good champion, but more importantly, he's very important because he is a Skinwalker reviver, which we desperately needed, right? So for faction wars, you can't go wrong. And base stats pretty solid. I think all around, he's worth investing in if you, especially if you need that reviver.
Definitely,
right?
I think he's good for progression, increase attack, increase crit rate, revive, strength, and definitely a champion that I would invest in faction wars dungeons just as a good carry early on. Steel Skull. Now, what do you think about this guy?
Well, he doesn't look like he should be as fast as he is. That's cool, right? I still think that Steel Skull is a solid champion. Is he as good as he used to be? No. But I still think he's very solid. He has increased defense. He has a heal. He has a cleanse and a heal and the poison on the A1. I feel like he's still solid for clan boss, but and faction wars, of course. But I do think that he's been power crept a little bit.
Yeah,
What about you?
I totally agree on it. I would still consider him building the champion, having fun with him, taking him in clan boss. I kind of don't like his AI that is not cleansing on point and stuff, but rather than that, still a decent champion that indeed got a bit power creeped. And we have the last champion here, right? Fane. How you liking her?
Yeah, Fane. Well, I'm one of the only people I feel like who has not built Fane. But I mean, I think that she is a solid clan boss champion. She from what everybody tells me, right? I mean, weak on the defense, unfortunately, and the HP. So if you can keep her alive, great. I think that everybody saw her kit first before we saw her base stats. And then when we
We
saw
were
our
like,
base
"Woo."
stats, we're like, ooh,
Super-
ooh, ooh.
Super excited.
Yeah.
She has crazy high attack. She's good for unkillable teams, guys. Honestly, that's where she belongs. Unkillable teams,
Yep.
defense down, weaken, poisons.
Yep.
Awesome champion. She can definitely do a lot. But guys, here we are with part 1. We completed the Skinwalkers. We're gonna do the rest of the factions in the next video, which probably is gonna be 1, 2, 3 weeks away. It does take a lot of time to go through all this, so it's pretty hard to be on point.
We'll try to make it 1 if we can. You know,
we actually tried to make it 1, but we failed because we're talking too much, I think, guys. So yeah, don't judge us on that. But Ash, always a pleasure to have you on the channel, buddy. And guys, check out Ash's channel. We do have another video there as well. So drop that sub. Appreciate all of you guys watching, and I'll catch you all soon on another video. Till then, peace out.